I got more in my office. Who did I miss? Sorry. This is my first day on the job, sorry. I apologize, my first day on the job. Oh, there's some more on the table. Did I miss anyone else? Mary, would you like the sucker?
Totally. Thanks.
We got our ring.
Thanks for taking the photos. And photos. Yeah, send them. Send them.
So these were prepared for, this one Mike's got to sign because that's, are these?
Yeah, they didn't get any. Either. Where did these come from?
Like
Oh, they didn't want them? I have no
extras.
idea. I don't know. Congratulations. Congratulations, sir. They must be for you then.
No, soccer is I'd actually take one.
You deserve a sucker. You make sure you get the sucker.
I'm giving them 3 right now.
So Bridget still needs to sign these.
Hey, Mike, do we sign something?
What's that?
Don't we sign something?
No, I just,
No, the certificate of elections for Mike.
No, but it's,
the oaths, I just signed, oh yeah, they need to sign these too.
right.
Oh, yeah.
So wait, the library should.
I see this, I do.
Yeah.
It looks a lot better than that.
Bridget's got to sign them first, so. Just a minute. Bridget, don't leave yet. Please.
Prettier than what I can read.
So Bridget will sign all these and then the trust, we will have the trustees first.
If we have bridges to sign these, okay.
Seems like it, yeah.
Okay.
These ones are for the new board. They can then sign that, but
Okay.
this is your last official.
See, I knew you couldn't do it without me, Mike. They took off. Jacoby. So I have to do yours too?
No, Mike did mine, but you gotta do the 3 trustees. It's a-
This one says Noah Rife on here.
Oh, yeah, because that's you, so.
Should I have him sign it?
Yeah.
What, you thought you were too cool? You had to put your name on one of them?
Try to stretch the limits.
Yeah, thanks, no.
And is the tape still on? Yeah, of course. Steve, are we ready to go? Okay, we're going to get right into the committee of the whole meeting if we could. We just have one item. It's an important item, though, for discussion. So, good evening. Again, it's 7:38 PM on Monday, May 12th. I'd like to call to order the Village of Brookfield Committee of the Whole meeting. Clerk Melendez, can we have a roll call for the Committee of the Whole meeting, please?
Trustee Ketchmark.
Here.
Trustee Whitehead.
Here.
Trustee Hendricks.
Here.
Trustee Naramatsu.
Here.
Trustee Gahuli.
Here.
Trustee Kaluzny.
Here.
President Garvey.
Here. Thank you. We have one item to discuss under regular business. The board has before us a memo regarding adopting a potential zoning amendment for electrical vehicle charging, which is a topic the board has supported and talked about, but then the need came up for a possible amendment to our zoning code. Our administrative intern, Xander Jones, prepared the memo, but Xander, would you like to make any presentation to the board about this?
Yes, I'd like to do so.
Thank you so much.
All right. Good evening. So tonight I'll be discussing a potential zoning amendment for EV charging in the village. Before I go into the proposed regulations, I'd like to provide some background on our EV initiatives that we've been working on in the past couple of months. So first, we are in the early stages for installing public EV chargers in Ellert Park and the Village Hall, using funds from the state CEJA Driving a Cleaner Illinois grant. Also, in the past month, we have created an EV charger installation permit process. We have used the NEC, the National Electric Code, as the basis for this. We have also created a page on our website dedicated to EV resources. It covers information on EV vehicles, EV safety, our own permitting process, and just in general, resources for EV-related things. For example, like a website that maps out public chargers. Most relevant today is our participation in the Metropolitan Mayoral Caucus's EV Readiness Program. So this program was created in 2022, I believe, with the aim of guiding Chicagoland's municipalities to become EV ready, hence the name. It does so with a certification process. In this certification process, it requires you to pass some ordinances, create some permitting processes, do public safety trainings, and just general communication. So Brookfield was actually accepted into this third cohort of the program in 2024, and since then we have met 15 of the 16 tasks to meet the bronze rank, so the first rank. This last requirement is classifying EV chargers as an accessory use, which is covered in this proposed text zoning amendment. So the contents of the proposed amendment itself, I guess we'll start with the definitions because that's where it begins. It covers a lot of things: EV vehicles, EV chargers, EV infrastructure, terminology, per the guidance of the Metropolitan Mayoral Caucus. We have, there's a lot of definitions here because it is a very complicated industry, all acronyms within one letter of each other. So we want to be as clear as possible for people viewing this ordinance in the future, and also future-proof it for whatever we end up adding to it in addition to what we have proposed. Then we have a brief purpose statement, which essentially summarizes our position on sustainability and supports EV infrastructure and EV use in Brookfield. And the regulatory aspect of this amendment would be classifying EV chargers as a valid accessory use. Level 1 and Level 2 chargers as a valid accessory use in all districts, and a Level 3 or DC fast charging chargers in industrial and commercial areas or districts. Some other regulations that are in there that are important to note are in residential neighborhoods, EV chargers are restricted to private use only. And as previously stated, the DC FC chargers are only to be permitted in commercial industrial areas. See here, this is a distinction between the three types. The DC fast chargers are pretty big, about the size of a gas pump, and they're incredibly powerful with a minimum of like 480 volts. So we wanted to make sure that there's a distinction to where it could be located. So why the timing and future plans? Well, we are part of the Metropolitan Mayoral Caucus, and this is a requirement, and we are running up on the deadline. Originally, we planned that we would tie this into our summer zoning update, a general one, but the timelines just didn't work out. So that's why we're proposing this right now. This also aligns what we've been doing in the past couple months, as well as state law, which has been generally supportive of EV regulation. So as I hinted to, in the future, we will look at incorporating this into our general summer update, and we look forward to fleshing this out specifically via the public workshop that we are in the works with. And that is all I have.
Thank you, Xander. This was an example earlier, former trustee Cote pointed out how the board creates policy and initiatives and talks about things that we want to have happen, but staff helps us do the work to make sure we're following the proper state standards. This board has indicated a desire to make us EV ready and make it a priority going forward. So staff did a lot of work on this. Xander did a great job with the memo that you gave us laying out the issues. Do the board members have any questions or comments?
I do. Excuse me. Level 3 chargers now are going to be limited so that they're not allowed in residential areas. Does that limit them from being in multifamily developments?
As of right now, yes, that would be the case.
Okay. It seems like that might be more of a limit than we want. I would hate to prevent, if we had a multifamily development that was big enough to want one of these things, I would hate to have the zoning code prevent that from happening. I can understand maybe in single-family areas why we wouldn't want that, but it seems like that this is maybe a little more restrictive than we want.
I can share just a little bit of additional detail. I've gone back and forth with Xander a little bit on this,
Okay.
as well as Libby. I think just to meet this minimum requirement of the bronze certification by May 30th, this is the this is the least that we need to do, is have this as an accessory use. However, there's a lot of opportunities and a lot of additional amendments that we can make through the zoning process or through new construction amendments as well. But this is what's needed for like this month to be done. But there's a lot of future opportunities for sure to be added to this ordinance or to the EV requirements
Okay.
and regulations.
But maybe we could just get it right the first time, or just get it so that it's not limited in that way.
Is there a drawback to including that now?
Well, I will say, the reason why this is kind of the norm to not include them in residential districts is, of course, the technology. It's very intensive, but also the fact that nowadays the DC FC, the level 3, they're very rapid paced. So you can fully charge an EV vehicle 1 to 3 hours. The level 2 chargers, which are commonly used in residential areas, are more well-suited to charge overnight. That being said, yes, we are planning on going through the public workshop, so this is definitely something we could consider taking out or revising during that process.
If something came up in the interim where there's a potential development that did not meet the requirements of this, is there a variation process or anything that would allow them to petition if we had a particular project come up in the interim before we took the next steps?
Right now, without an amendment to our zoning code, it's not regulated, so it's not prohibited or addressed in our zoning code. So until this is approved, people could make requests for a special use as an accessory use based on similar uses in the area, but it's unregulated until we amend our zoning code.
But if we pass the staff recommendation at the next meeting, and then, that which does not permit it in multifamily developments, and a multifamily development came in before the board made any further amendments, would they have some type of relief that they could seek on an individual basis?
They would be applying for a text amendment as
Okay.
opposed to a zoning variation.
Okay.
Do we know if level 3 chargers are being installed in multifamily developments in other communities or even in the city of Chicago? Like, is that something that happens?
I'm not aware of that, but I'm also limited to the materials that the mayoral caucus provides with me.
I mean, my sense is level 3 is mainly like at big box stores and highway interchanges, that kind of thing, right?
Correct, yeah, like I said, before, they're 1 to 3 hours, so they're suitable for shopping trips, they're suitable to charge up your vehicle while on road trips. That's what I think they were intended to be used for.
I can understand that. I guess another way to look at it is how does it benefit us to restrict them?
I do think it's following the Mayor's Caucus guidelines for the cohort, so it's following model ordinance language that other communities are adopting as well. So
Okay.
level 3 chargers are not being included in the other municipalities' ordinances as well for multifamily. I'm not saying that we couldn't do it, but it's following the guidelines of the cohort and the other ordinances.
And obviously, we have close ties to that group, and we have expertise and staff and the board on that. So if those areas change, we can be on the cutting edge of that and make the changes at the appropriate time. I mean, it's a good thought, but I think I'm asking the board to support staff's recommendation of making these amendments and then revisiting, and as soon as something becomes apparent that we need to make changes to, that the board desires not to hinder any future development, we bring it back in front of the board.
Well, and just to be clear, we want to be a petitioner, we want to go to the Plan Commission and run through the entire, so you're not approving anything tonight or even in 2 weeks. We're just going to, this is the start of the process, and we would.
To get direction from the board to send it to the Planning and Zoning Commission, so, okay. So is there other questions from the board? I'm looking to see if there's a consensus to send it to the Planning and Zoning Commission as a text amendment.
I support moving it to the planning and zoning. I just have a question about the last page in the memo. Is there a larger document that comes from to refer to for the future? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. We can talk offline. I was just curious. And then in terms of the bronze level, are there other certification levels? Is that part of?
There's silver and there's gold.
Okay. And the bronze is what we're striving to meet for this first? Okay.
And eventually you may go for the gold.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Okay, there's no specific board action taken other than I'm seeking, is there a consensus to petition to the Planning and Zoning Commission for a text amendment?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Xander, great job. Thank you for the presentation. Thank you for bringing it forward. Okay, that ends the items we have up for discussion on the Committee of the Whole. Once again, I will open up to public comment. Is there anyone on my right side that has any public comment? Hearing none. Is there anyone on my left side that has any public comment? Hearing no public comment. Tim, is there any need for executive session? Okay, there being no need for executive session, Trustee Whitehead, do you have a motion to adjourn the Committee of the Whole at 7:52?
So moved.
Second.
The motion to adjourn was made by Trustee Whitehead and second by Trustee Gahuli. Roll call, please.
Trustee Ketchmark?
Aye.
Trustee Whitehead?
Aye.
Trustee Hendricks?
Aye.
Trustee Naramatsu?
Aye.
Trustee Gahuli?
Aye.
Trustee Kaluzny?
Aye.
Motion passes.
The meeting is adjourned at 7:52 PM. Thank you for coming, everybody, tonight.